Hey everybody, Jay down here in Belize again with another update. Well, last night finally got my Toyota Highlander and 15-foot trailer arrived from Minnesota, and definitely took some wear and tear. Um, Highlander did real well towing this big bad boy. We had some problems with the trailer. Looking back on it, I probably should have bought a new trailer, or at least one in better condition. I tried to go cheap, and we had some repair issues along the way. Needed 4 new tires, broke one strut, had to get that re-welded in the middle of Mexico, which was stressful, but Roberto handled it really well. He got it done. As you can see, we did take some damage here. Had one microwave that got crushed by something. I did a good job packing it in Minnesota, but everything had to get taken out of the trailer and repacked 3 times. Once at the US-Mexican border on the US side to be inventoried by customs there. A second time when he crossed into Mexico, everything had to be unloaded and inspected by Mexican authorities. And then a third time at the Belize border. And those guys, they were not careful. They just kind of threw everything back in haphazardly, and they wouldn't let us touch it because everything had to be inventoried for customs purposes. I suppose we could have unpacked everything a 4th time and repacked it, but at this point we were already behind schedule. My driver had to get going. So one microwave definitely destroyed. That light, I'll have to take a look inside there. That's maybe been destroyed as well. And we got a lot of other scratches and dents at this point, so there's probably going to be several items here that are going to be a loss, unfortunately. And I guess lesson learned from this: if you're going to bring stuff down to Central America, first of all, make sure it's worth your while. I had a lot of stuff to bring down, and some of the stuff in here, you just simply can't find it in Central America. For example, I got a king-size sleeper sofa. I looked all over the country. Nobody has a king-size sleeper sofa. It's difficult enough to find that in the United States, frankly. I mean, queen size is really common, but not king. Plus, I wanted memory foam. Impossible to find anywhere in Central America, I think. Certainly not in Belize. So that was kind of the deciding factor for me. I had to have a trailer to get that thing down here. I'm sure it would have cost me between $2,000 and $3,000 to have a 300-pound sleeper sofa freighted down to Belize. So that alone probably made it worth my while. But my advice to you, if you've just got a few items, even if it's like a refrigerator, stove, something special you want to bring down, you're probably better off. If that's all you got, just get a freight company and have it shipped down here. Going across multiple borders through multiple customs, I probably spent, well, for sure I spent $6,000 to have everything imported into Belize. That's US dollars. That's the vehicle and the trailer and my goods. Duty taxes in Belize run anywhere from, they can be 20% all the way up to over 50, well, actually as high as 70% in some cases. And depending on what the declared value, or what they assess as the value, what you declare as the value they may not agree, and they will override you. Like the Toyota Highlander, for example. Got 250,000 miles on my Toyota Highlander. It's probably worth $5,000 or $6,000 in the States. Down here, they value it at $12,000. So what you value it at and what customs values it at could be 2 very different things. So that's something to consider if you're bringing vehicles down. And one other piece of advice, if you do decide to bring vehicle down, trailer down, hire someone that really knows the system. It's extremely complicated every step of the way, every border that you cross. There's multiple fees, there's brokers involved, and if you run into problems like I did along the way, you've got to have somebody that's competent to, for example, find a repair shop and get an axle re-welded. deal with flat tires, deal with authorities that might stop you and question you along the way, there's drug cartels to worry about, going through Mexico. I don't want to discourage anyone from doing it, but it can be dangerous. I will not lie to you about that. One of the drivers I spoke with had been robbed 3 times over the course of his career. Now granted, that's probably over a 15-20 year time span, but it can be dangerous. So a lot of things to consider. Do your research ahead of time. Make sure your vehicle is in good condition. Make sure your trailer is in good condition. That's going to save you a lot of headache down the road. And definitely consider your options with freight companies too, if you've got just a small amount of goods that you need to take down. And if all you're looking for is a vehicle, you might want to consider buying a vehicle in country already, unless you're bringing down something really special that you can't find in country. And there too, I would caution you against bringing anything too flashy, too expensive. I mean, for one thing, the roads are rough down here. It's gonna get abused for sure. And secondly, yeah, you start driving around a $100,000 Tesla, something like that. It's gonna make you a target for theft also. Anyway, Jay from Belize, signing off for now. Got a lot of work to do, as you can see behind me, getting this thing unloaded. More updates to come. Probably only about 3.5 weeks away from main house moving date. So things are getting pretty exciting. A lot more updates to come. Jay out.